Sorry.
Papa loved that.
He wanted to play itself.
That takes some of the pressure off. One thing that has struck me in the couple of months since my dad died has been the emails I've received from students and colleagues of his, and really there have been a lot of different emails from people whose names I recognized, others who had classes with my dad or had worked with my dad, and whose names were not familiar to me at all. And some of these people would tell funny anecdotes. Some had a more serious thing to say. But what really hit me most of all was how whoever it was from and whatever they were saying, they all shared a similar depth of regard and admiration for Robert Berry. So what I wanted to do with my remarks was just share a few of those messages with you. And one student wrote, "Bob was my contracts professor at BC Law in 1976. Anyone in that class can recall his amazing memory trick of knowing all our names on the first day of class. I also remember just how lively and engaging he made that class. Your father once entered the classroom singing, 'Hooray for Hollywood,' and doing a mock shuffle and hand wave when we were considering a case involving a performer. He was one of a kind and will be missed." Another student said, "His midterm contracts exam was presented as a skit and is still memorable. He had a terrific sense of humor. Great work, Professor," a third student said. "He was by far my favorite professor at BC Law. I had several classes with him, and he advised me on an independent project as well. He was also incredibly helpful to me personally, as it was a difficult time in my life." A colleague said, "Your father was a marvelous colleague. He was generous, funny, and a delight to work with or schmooze with in the lunchroom. I can hear his voice now." Another colleague said, "Your dad was an important figure in my life. Starting with our joint leadership in the civil rights struggle at the University of Florida. I loved and respected him and wished that I could have been with him. My heartfelt condolences to you and your brother. You had a great father." The student said, "I just want you to know that your dad was a tremendous professor, friend, and mentor of mine. I started sitting in on his entertainment law class when I was a junior at BC in 1984, and he influenced me so much that I went on to attend BC Law from 1986 to 89 and worked closely with him. I am the professional I am today thanks to your dad, and I will always be grateful to him, and will always cherish his memory." Another student said, "He was a legendary figure at BC Law," and a colleague said, "He was the very heart and soul of the school. Generations of students and colleagues owe him a huge debt of gratitude, and I am definitely one of them." And finally, one more colleague said, "Bob was one of the greats at Boston College Law School. When I joined the faculty in 1980, he was one of the people who made me feel especially welcome. Bob will be very much missed by all of us here at Boston College Law School who had the privilege